I'm going to talk about Marcella, and then we still have the Bon Jovi Crush tour on the stack, and Sarah McLachlan fumbling towards ecstasy. The Phoenician scheme, All Man, and Gia. And those are the Swiss chard rolls, so they worked out really well.
I think I'm highly recommended. If you got Swiss chard, it might even be tastier than cabbage.
Well, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot easier to work with. So I explained how to make them before, but I guess I didn't really explain the rolling. So you cut out the center stem up, until it's easy to roll. So, because it's pretty thick, you don't want to, it won't be easy to roll unless you cut that out a ways up. And then you can there's different sizes of Swiss chard leaves, so you use the big Swiss chard leaves for the roll, and then you take some of the littler ones, like that big, and you put it over top of where you cut the stem out, and then you put the rice and stuff there, and then you roll it. And I roll like this, and then like that, but on the cutting board. But I mean, you can roll them a bunch of different ways, as long as you pack them together in the whatever pot you're cooking them on, and you put some sort of weight, a heat-proof plate or whatever on top. And I put a bowl on top of that, and then, because I had room in the slow cooker, right? My throat is kind of not conducive to singing today, but I'm going to sing a song that I wrote. So we'll see how this goes. James thinks it's a long-term illness, and I'll have symptoms maybe forever. Who knows? But
a long plague, shall we say?
Yeah. But anyway, sometimes my throat gets a little rough, but I have it warmed up with a scarf here, so we'll hope for the best. And this song is not challenging. I wrote it thinking of, when I actually liked watching the interviews on this Bon Jovi thing.
Yeah, we actually did.
Yeah, we watched through everything.
I didn't think I'd want to, but...
Yeah, I didn't think I would either, but I enjoyed watching the concert so much, and neither of us are fans of Bon Jovi, but still, they put on a good show, and they put together a good DVD of the concert film. Anyway, so I was thinking sort of, I kind of liked the way he was saying, we're just a bar band, he's like, talking about how he has all the fans and everything, and I like the interviews. He was wearing the sunglasses, and he was talking about how, so and so told me their 13-year-old thought I was cute or whatever, and he said, I'm wearing these sunglasses to hide the wrinkles, and it's like, he looked so good.
Well, he was saying they performed the previous night or something.
True, yeah, he probably had some bags under his eyes and whatever, but anyway, it's funny, you get older, and I see pictures of myself 10 years ago, and I think, wow, I looked good, and 10 years from now, I'll probably look at myself and think, wow, I looked good. Yeah. And, that's funny how that works, because at the time you think, oh, I look terrible, oh, these imperfections, whatever, oh, this extra weight, or whatever. You always find something, but later on down the road, you think, oh, what was I so worried about? I looked good then, And I guess it's good to keep that perspective, right? And then maybe you won't do that as much. Because you'll realize, wait, I probably look good now. It's just, whatever, making me see these imperfections that, whatever, they're fine. Perfect just the way I am. So, anyway, I was thinking of how he wrote songs that I was looking at his lyrics, and they're just like he actually doesn't do a terrible job on them, and he has some lines that are pretty good and whatever. So, but he writes like you would imagine he thinks. It's just he doesn't. It doesn't seem pretentious, is what I'm saying. Whereas with Sarah McLachlan, it does seem pretentious.
Oh my God.
So we were going over her lyrics. We might get to that later on today because we're going to spend a lot of time going through lyrics. We're analyzing them, which takes a lot of time.
It shouldn't, but it does.
And then, you know, we'll go through it with you, and then you'll be able to see, oh, that's what bothered me about that, or whatever. Because maybe you don't realize it's sometimes hard to tell unless you really put the time in and you know what you're looking for. Anyway, it helps. So, here's a song that I wrote thinking that of an average man singing it, and there's a lot of people that get down this time of year, and it's, I mean, women will talk about it more, but I'm sure a lot of men get down too. And I was reading Copeland books recently, and he was talking about getting down, and so
I think on average men get way more down than women. Why? Higher suicide rate.
yeah,
But
I guess
maybe that's successful suicides. I think maybe women attempt
Well,
suicide.
I think I have heard that with females, they tend to attempt it at a younger age, so in their teens. They have a hard time in their teens, and then I guess they get through it, and whatever. Afterward, they don't seem like they feel like doing it anymore, or whatever. But since men don't go through that in their teens, then I guess they go through it later on. They just don't. So I don't know. And I'm not saying that teenagers are stupid, but for whatever reason, teenage girls, it doesn't end up being successful a lot of the time, suicide attempts. So it could have, I think it has something to do with the prefrontal cortex. They don't think it through properly, and so it's just a spur of the moment sort of thing. They don't actually plan it out, and so it doesn't work out for them. But that's great because then they end up getting to live, and whew, that's lucky. So it's good to just try to find something to keep yourself going, and if you get down, have something around you to remind yourself that, oh, this doesn't last. You know, I will get through this. So anyway, here's this song that I wrote called Hockey Sweater, and I wrote it, well, I wrote the first verse, the first, I guess, I don't know what you'd call it, stanza, on October 26th, and I wrote it all at once, and I'm like, ooh, that worked really well. And then I didn't really know what to do with it. I put it down, I kept looking at it, and I finished it off yesterday, October 29th, so 2025. It's a sunny Sunday morning in October. Another day I wish I wasn't sober. With every breeze more golden leaves are leaving, and jack-o'-lanterns freeze and leave me grieving for that sunshine that's leaving me behind, for those cold, dark, long December days to find. I'll crank the heat and stay right here with my hockey and my beer. I'll hoard the hungry men's and hide, too drunk to know it's cold outside. I'm no Scrooge McDuck, the kids will get their candy. I'll leave it in a coffee tin that's handy outside my door for local trick-or-treaters to fight each other for. I'll crank the heaters, just pretending it's still just late July, when I was still a happy kind of guy. I'll crank the heat and stay right here with my hockey and my beer. I'll hoard the hungry men's and hide, too drunk to know it's cold outside. Yeah, so drunk my vision isn't clear, so I just see what I keep near. Your hockey sweater by my side, the one you left when summer died. And that's that.
There you go.
Hope you like that one.
I liked it pretty good. You notice it, there's a setting there. We'll be dealing with Sarah McLachlan, and you'll be listening to a song and say,
Yeah.
Where is she? What's she talking about?
So, and I have one here that I rewrote, a Sarah McLachlan song that I did a rewrite on. And my angel said, no, they still don't like it. They want me to redo it again. So, I don't know. I might get around to sharing it with you, or I might not, because my angels don't like it at all. So, I'll talk about Marcella. And I gave this top of the stack. I don't know how you felt about it. I know we enjoyed it.
As a segue, I'm going to say her favorite philosophical statement. Cooking should be
She
easy.
said Italian cooking is easy.
Simple. No, simple. It should be simple, but not
Simple,
easy.
but not easier. So, yeah.
That's the way Pauline writes her stuff. I mean,
Yeah, like that. It should. This seemed really just like anybody just sat down, wrote it really easily. But it's
simple,
it's-
but it's not easy.
It's not
Pauline had
easy to write it that
put
way.
a
You
lot
have
of
to actually, but it's
effort
a
into-
lot easier doing that than trying to rewrite Sarah McLachlan's lyrics for her. Let me tell you
I figured
that.
it would have been Ben's song. Was it Ben's song?
It was. I had to rewrite that
Oh
one
my
because
God, it's so poorly written.
boy, and the song is so beautiful. I mean, you hear it, and I left the chorus the same because I thought, you know, I'd always only heard the chorus. When I heard it, I heard, on a winter's day, I saw a life just slip away. A cold wind blows on a windless day. And that's what I was hearing all the time.
Yeah.
It turns out that's actually not what she wrote or sang. She wrote, on a winter's day, I saw the lifeblood drained away. A cold wind blows on a windless day. And we're going to talk about just that later. But we'll talk about the whole song eventually.
Along with others.
Long
So
one.
get
Well,
ready,
we'll
folks.
go through. I'm going through. I didn't go through all of Sarah McLachlan's songs. If you look
Oh
up,
my God.
she has written
We
a
wouldn't
lot.
be able to survive it.
Yeah. So all I did is I went through the songs off here, minus Mary and I mean the one that was a Tom Waits song. I didn't because it's not hers, right? So, but
It's
I didn't
not
put
worth
down
the
Mary
time,
because
honey.
I didn't like that song. But I wrote down the lyrics for all of them, and then I listened to them because most of the songs I know them, but I didn't know what the words were necessarily, or most of the words.
But you know the rhythm.
But I
so
know,
and so
and
forth.
I know what I was singing, which a lot of the time was not the right. I just made up my own
You
lyrics.
might have been significantly improving them.
Yeah. But anyway, so then I wrote down the rhythm, and I mean, not much of a rhyme scheme there. She doesn't really, most of her rhymes aren't true rhymes.
Holy smokes,
So,
she has problems. Worse than Joni Mitchell, by far.
Which I don't mind, you know,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
but anyway, so I wrote down the rhythm pattern. I tried to write down the rhyme scheme as much as possible, and go from there, right? So and then we analyzed some. But anyway, I want to get some of the stuff off the sack so I can send it back because somebody might want to watch this because it was really good. I'd never heard of this Marcella
I'd
woman.
never heard of her either. Apparently,
And-
she was a big publishing
Yeah.
success
Yeah.
with the significant help of her husband,
Of her
a man-
significant other, yes, because he was
marketing expert.
very good at marketing, and
Mhm.
and he wanted to market her. He loved her. He was
Well,
very in love
he's
with
the
her.
one.
And she cooked for him because she loved him. And
know,
so
and
they
he
had
kinda
this
demanded
wonderful. Yeah, he did kind of, but I mean, different generation.
Yeah. Anyway, he made up for it
He did.
by making her a worldwide success.
Yep. So, and it's interesting because this woman, here she is, this tiny little Italian woman, and she has this disability. Her hand is always stuck like this, and it's smaller.
It's
know,
her
she
right
really
hand,
can't use
too.
it very much.
Well, they
Oh
showed
yeah,
the
I
fracture.
showed it.
Well, it's not
yeah,
a fracture,
that's
a
the
break
left,
in her
but
leg
it's-
or in her arm when she was maybe 6,
Yeah.
and it slipped. That's why it was shorter. So
Okay.
here's the bone, and then the other bone, or
But I mean, they
Two
didn't
bones,
mention
but-
her having pain, so I guess she didn't from it. They didn't mention it.
I've got something like this. It's pain when you.
Well, anyway, she had a nice life, and she had a lot of her dreams came true, you know. She ended up living in Venice there for a while, and until it was too difficult for her, and she'd always wanted to live there, so that's lovely. And she didn't learn English really well, but
It caused her a TV career.
it did, yeah,
She
But-
could have been like Julia Child.
for sure. Yeah. But what else? I don't know. She taught people how to cook Italian food. That's great.
It was kind of like,
She had classes.
I think you'd learn better from her cookbooks. But this is
Yeah.
a way of kind of taking advantage of rich people.
Whatever.
And, it's chicken feed for rich people to go through these seminars with her.
Well, yeah, and some people actually need somebody to teach them. She was a very well-educated woman. I don't know if they said
Two
she had
doctorates,
two.
they said.
Was it 2 doctorates? I thought masters, but okay.
I heard doctorate.
So, I mean, and that was in the sciences too. So, she
And
was
this
very
was-
well educated.
A while back.
Yeah.
She was basically the age of my father.
Yeah.
She lived only to be 89, and it's amazing because she just popped like crazy, puffed cigarettes like crazy. My father definitely did. He outlived her by 10 years. She was born in 24, and he was born in 23. And talking about a different era, like my mother was motivated, like she was a teacher and all that sort of stuff. But I can't imagine a woman. My mother was exactly the same age as my father. Getting 2 doctorates or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't really know what to say about this. They give her basically her life story as it. I mean, not everything probably, but things that related to her becoming this cooking phenomenon, right? So. Anyway, it's they gave a lot of interesting facts about her and her husband and her family. I really liked learning about them. I liked seeing the people that were telling the story. Like, there were many different people who were showing how to make a few of her more common recipes.
Yeah, including her son. I think
Yeah,
she had,
that was nice
her
that he
only
was.
child,
Yeah.
and
But I think both of us liked the woman that she was a bit butchy looking, but very sensitive and just heart of gold. You could tell. We really liked her the most, I think.
well, yeah, she
was
on
lovely.
the verge of crying
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
once. I think maybe a couple of times.
Yeah. You could
Reminiscing.
tell she really cared about
Yeah.
this woman. So I really liked the people that they got together to talk about, share stories about her, their experiences with her, and all that. It was beautiful. So I gave this top of the stack. It was a surprisingly lovely documentary. And like I said, we enjoyed the Bon Jovi Crush tour. That was very well put together. I put that above Sarah McLachlan because even though this was really well put together too, this was a great documentary. Anybody who loves Sarah McLachlan will love watching this, and anybody who loves watching Bon Jovi will love watching this or
Yeah.
listening to their music. But I just I figured it's not really my taste in music that matters. I'm trying to be impartial about how I view these kind of things that way. And I just thought that they did a better job on this one than this. That's all. But they were both really well done. The Phoenician Scheme. Now this one, I really liked how the people did a great job acting in this.
Yeah.
Michael Cera especially, don't you think?
Yeah, well, he kind of had
But I
different
love him.
accents and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's where I've seen him most challenged and answering the challenge in any role.
Yeah. So, but this is another Wes Anderson film. I hadn't realized it was when I got it out, when I put it in the machine, James and I are like, oh, this looks like Wes Anderson. He has a particular style. And we're talking about art lately, and really with Wes Anderson movies, I've talked to other people who don't like his movies, and I'm just shocked. I'm like, well, you have to respect him though, right? I can't understand it, because every frame of his movies is a work of art.
Well,
he
what I
pays
was saying,
such close attention. It's meticulous attention to detail. It's incredible. I don't know how he manages to make as many movies as he does, because he must be spending all of his time doing it. Just, with a measuring tape, measuring out where everything's supposed to go and whatever. And like James says, he probably had, he really liked dollhouses or dioramas or something like that when he was a kid.
I kind of wish I had dollhouse when I was a kid. I like the idea.
They're lovely, aren't they?
We had, one of my cousins had a farm thing, with a barn that you could kind of look into and all this sort of stuff.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I was, I wouldn't say jealous, but I was wanting to have one of my own. It's not as though I wanted his and him not to have one.
Yeah.
But they were way better off than we were. They just had better toys than we had. But I don't know. I had a great childhood. So.
Yeah. Well, I remember when my first nephew was born, I kept getting him all sorts of toys that I would have wanted, right? And I guess people do this a lot. They think, oh, well, I would love this. He's going to love it. And I got him a Fisher-Price barn set, and it had
well, that's what I'm
horse and
about.
stuff. It was great. But, I mean, it had a silo. You could put the bales down. It was terrific.
That's exactly what I wanted. Something like that, right?
I would have loved it.
Yeah.
But now I think he probably didn't even want it.
Who knows?
Why would he want it? Anyway,
well, everyone's got different tastes.
Probably went to the curb. But anyway, yeah, it's amazing, because we were watching Angelina Jolie in this, and you see all of Angelina Jolie completely naked. And I hadn't realized she really doesn't have, as much as she has a lot in some areas, she doesn't have a lot of hip. And her waist, not much there. It's very wide. And I mean, she was very thin in this. You could see her knees, her legs, so thin. But still, wide waist.
So I think that's why she's had these bouts of anorexia.
I think so. She's trying to
that waist
exactly,
and you gotta live with what you've got.
Yeah, and maybe if you put on more weight, maybe it'll go in some other places and not on the waist.
Well, that might be it. Anyway,
maybe going so skinny, maybe just emphasize that. I don't know. But anyway, I saw Scarlett Johansson here, and she was fully clothed. But wow, what a figure on her! It's
she's never had a nose job, from what I can tell. Angelina Jolie, it looks as though she's had a lip job, but I've seen a picture, like in Rolling Stone, a couple of pictures. No, it was in a biography, I think, of Tom Pitt. Is that his name? Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And or of them or something like that. And it has a couple of pictures of her when she's younger, and her lips were huge. But I did check up. It was on the internet, so you got to watch out. But apparently, you can see pictures of before the plastic surgery. She didn't have a honker, but she had work done on her nose. It looked as though it was narrowed down and maybe dished out a little bit. So.
Well, I think she's probably a really nice person, and I feel bad pointing out, that her waist is wide or whatever, because
millions of women would kill to have a waist like that. So.
And I mean, everybody thinks she's lovely, so it's just, I was just kind of shocked. I hadn't realized. I don't know how they had the cameras or wardrobes fitting her before, but naked, I mean, you see everything. So anyway,
when I've seen her on National Enquirer looking anorexic or whatever, you know, what I'd be saying is, oh, Brad Pitt was cheating on her again. It doesn't help to have spouses who don't support you. Right? Sometimes some women have a fatal attraction for flunkies, like Brad Pitt. But whatever.
Anyway, but I mean, people will talk about. I've talked to people about how I like seeing Scarlett Johansson in movies, and they're like, oh, well, she can't act. And
that's dime a dozen in Hollywood.
Anyway,
And,
neither can Angelina Jolie. She's really not a good actor.
Scarlett Johansson's Jewish, and I really respect her because she's come out in support of Israel. Hopefully she's still maintaining it. The rest of the world keeps turning more and more anti-Semitic. It's absolutely shameful. I want to make it clear, I ain't Jewish, but I support the state of Israel. It's not unconditional, but
I expected
really,
you were probably part Jewish. I mean, you have
I've got a lot
a
of stuff.
lot of different mixed.
An initial reading of
Ancestry,
the
so.
Ancestry.com indicated possible Jewish ancestry. I was kind of disappointed, actually, because they've got the Jews worldwide have got the highest per capita, I guess you could say, highest average IQ of any.
So you were hoping you had more.
And, I suspected, well, hoping that I had some, but that was just a tentative reading, and then the more exact reading came in and didn't indicate anything like that.
Oh.
No, I suspect that Scottish people have a high average IQ. You know, like in the late 19th century, there was a study that indicated the two best performing academic systems in the world were Germany and Scotland. And has Germany maintained that? No. Why? Because they got rid of so many of their Jews. Some of the top Jews survived, like Albert Einstein, made it out of Germany, I think, in 1933. The Nazis actually, maybe about 23, put a fatwa or a contract out on Albert, and this is a death contract out on Albert Einstein. So that's 10 years before they came into power. But the other place was in the late 19th century was Scotland. And the thing is, Scotland wouldn't have many Jews, not like Germany. So the place with the best system for training people who came from the local place would be Scotland. The Germany would be benefiting from people who had a long, and centuries-long tradition of respect for writing and all this sort of stuff. So the people who really change things around would be the Scottish. I've got a lot of Scottish ancestry, so probably more than anything else.
Okay, so All Man, the International Male Story. I was
I like this one. The mere fact that
golden-
it's close to the end of a list of things is not a...
No, we actually
no.
enjoyed watching this too.
No.
And I mean, we love Wes Anderson. This just wasn't my favorite Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah.
And these other things were really great.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Even the Gia story was important to be told.
It's
it just
important to be
wasn't
told.
very well.
Well, there were some things about it that were